Welcome back to the Christian Music Bros podcast. Today we're honored to be joined by the incredibly talented Tommee Profitt, from producing powerful music that impacted millions around the world to creating cinematic arrangements that inspire and move listeners. Tommee has built a truly unique career in music, and we're excited to dive into his journey, his faith, his creative process, and what's next for him. Tommee, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for asking me to do this. I'm pumped to talk to you guys.
Yeah, and we're pumped to have you here. And Grayson, it's always pumped to have you back on the show as well.
Always pleased to be here.
Welcome, Grayson.
We're going to just start off nice and easy. Your signature sound is kind of like very cinematic. It's like scoring a film. Can you tell us a little bit about that creative process? What made you decide to do it that way versus just the normal like beats and bars for like these other producers?
The normal way was just, just wasn't doing it for me. No, honestly, I didn't really decide to do cinematic music. I think I just like loved it. I've always loved it, and I listened to it and I wanted to make it, and so that's what naturally comes out. It's like the music I would want to make, you know what I mean? So I don't choose to do it from a standpoint of it's my job or it works or whatever. I just like what I love. I genuinely love it. And it's just, I listened to trailer music growing up, going to, school and stuff. Just, I would listen to that in my car to like just get inspired. And there's so much adrenaline and power, and it just feels so epic. And so I learned that if you apply those same like sounds to any song, whether it's hip hop, pop, even rock or country or anything, worship, like it just elevates and almost gives like an adrenaline into those songs as well. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's really cool. You said you listened to it and you grew up, and I found out I was researching a little more about you. Like I knew who you were already, but I just wanted more in-depth research. And you grew up in Grand Rapids. I'm actually from Grand Rapids. That's where I'm like born and raised, and I live outside of like Grand Rapids right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I lived there for man, like probably over 10 years.
Yeah. And it's like
Loved it.
And it boomed a lot in the last like 10 years too.
Yeah, I heard. I probably wouldn't recognize it if I came back now. I heard it's crazy.
Usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Grayson, do you have anything you want to add in?
Yeah, just with going along with the cinematic vibe of your music, growing up in a big worship setting for me personally, there was things, we didn't want to do, like go too far in a worship service or something, or be distracting or any type thing like that. Where do you draw the line and like kind of incorporate all of it to still keep it at a good place where it's not like just a show or something too distracting, but you're really getting the worship and the message across?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question, man. I think there's a couple things. One, even in cinematic music, sometimes that means soft and beautiful, and that can still be cinematic. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 bombastic, huge, right? Though I do have a tendency to go there a lot because I just love it. To me, it depends on, I think it's a hard issue. It depends on why you're going all out. And if it's literally just to like show a range or try to impress, then you're right. That probably falls outside of the worship category. But the people that I'm working with, especially on this latest project, I feel like we're shouting about the resurrection, right? And I've always said this in all the interviews. I'm like, there's nothing about the resurrection that should be whispered. It should be proclaimed loudly and with joy and excitement and at the top of your lungs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's a loud album, and I think there's a place for loud worship, and it doesn't mean that it's just for the wrong reasons, And so I think that hopefully through the conversations that I have with all the artists in here when we're recording and talking through the songs and the arrangements and recording these songs, I'm hoping that translates through the music when people listen, so they know like it's powerful, and they're not thinking about whoa that track or whoa that voice. People will naturally maybe recognize those things, but like I want them to be impacted by something in the music where they can't attribute it to anything other than God and their connection with God and having an experience with God while listening to it. You know what I mean? That's our purpose in making these projects.
Well, I definitely think you've achieved that for sure.
Well, praise God. See, that's amazing. Appreciate that.
One of my favorite albums personally of the year. Like obviously, you see, I have it right here in the background, so it's like
yeah.
And
dude,
with that,
thank you.
You're welcome. And with the album, you had a huge lineup just with like just to name a few: Crowder, Ben Fuller, Phil Wickham, CeCe Winans, my friend Bay Turner. How did you decide to choose like what voice fits with this song? Like, there's so many voices out there in the Christian music world and music world. What made you decide these
Yeah,
artists for the specific songs they did?
man, I that's my favorite part of the process, and I think you have to get that right in order for it to work to its maximum potential. And that sounds very nerdy, and that's like my job as a producer is to be super nerdy and in the weeds and the details. And as I arranged these songs, I always had the track and the song arrangement first, and then that arrangement informed me what kind of voice it needed to be or who it needed to be. And it usually comes quickly. Like once I have the song and I listen to it, usually a voice comes to mind that I'm like, man, if like Bay Turner, for example, Bay Turner sings this version of it as well. And because he lives, like, that was the idea that excites me. It wasn't just exciting only to have Bay Turner, which it was. It wasn't just exciting to have this version of it as well because he lives, even though I was excited about it. It's the combination of the curation of the voice and the music and the full thing that just elevates it to a different experience. You know what I mean?
Really cool because I saw Bay. I went to the K Love Fan Awards probably like a couple weeks ago, and Bay Turner Bay actually sang it as well. Pretty much, he was talking about a little bit of his process and album. So it's really cool to see your side of it too.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just amazing. I have all kinds of notes in my phone of singers that I found. Some of them I found on social media. Some of them are my friends that I just worked with a lot. Um, so I have a lot of excitement to do that pairing, to take time and pair the voice and the idea. And I think that's where the magic happens more than anything else.
Grayson, do you have anything you want to add on?
Yeah, just want to touch on obviously the big thing that is happening. It's happened this past year and then happening again this year is with the Birth of a King concert. I live in Nashville, but I wasn't able to make it to this last
Okay.
one. But um, obviously after the last one went so amazingly, and then there's two shows this upcoming year. Is there anything just bigger and better and more extravagant to be expecting?
Man, I had a meeting today about the Birth of a King for this year. Two shows. I'm so excited about that because, it's only been one night each year so far. And every time we're done, we're like sad because we're like, that was so fun. It was so amazing. We wish we could do it again. And we have to wait a full year to do it again, just once, right? So the fact that we get to do it twice is very exciting. And yeah, we're talking about little ideas of every year I like to throw in something. I actually added a couple songs last year. Um, if you weren't there, like that's still a surprise, I guess, to a lot of people. We're going to release them later this year. Um, but adding songs, doing some special little things. I always like to have surprises and announcements. You know what I mean? So that's become part of the show and part of the fun of it. So, um, yeah, 100%. There are things which I just,
Yeah,
you got to come. You got to come to
I'm
see
gonna
and
come. I really
experience
want to
that.
come. I actually had to be in the studio that same weekend, but I had a friend that got to sing on the choir for it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
but I think something for a lot of Christians, especially growing up in church for me, like the Christmas Eve service, everything. Everybody looks forward to that one thing all year. It's just like the thing you go all out on. So
Right.
I think
Yes.
you've taken that to a whole elevated level for sure.
That's amazing. It's funny. I didn't even realize this until very recently. I always had a thing for big Christmas productions. Um, like even at my school growing up and at my church growing up and at my college, like I always did big Christmas services and I decorated and we did these big things and I had a bunch of people on risers to try to emulate a choir. It's like I've always had something for Christmas music. So to get to do this every year is by far the honor of my life, and it's my favorite night of the year every time.
Grayson, if you should go, let me know how it is. 'Cause I won't be able to go to Nashville again. Probably.
I will
till
definitely be there, 100%.
And with the new Resurrection of a King, would you kind of consider it as like a continuation of a Birth of a King album, or do you like decide them as like they're separate projects? Like some people are like, oh, this is like kind of like part two of that. I know one's Easter, one's Christmas, but would you consider it like as a continuation of it?
I very much viewed it like a sequel like a direct sequel, and I wanted it to feel like a sequel. I I almost viewed it more like a movie project than I did an album project, from the standpoint of I wanted it to be an experience where, um, we told this story, The Birth of a King. It's like that's it. Just felt like only half the story. There was a second part, a major second part, right? And so I wanted to wait. I mean, I didn't know. I've always wanted to do something like that, but I didn't know what it would be. I didn't have the ideas, and I was waiting until I knew exactly what it should be before I even attempted it, right? And I wasn't rushing it. I would have taken 10 years if it needed to be, but it just like came to me and came so heavy and fast and hard and felt urgent. Like I need to do this now. And so um, there's a lot of tie-ins back to The Birth of a King, right? At moments throughout the record. Some of them people find more easily than others. Some of them are subtle, but just to give you the same feeling, it feels like a continuation. So that was very intentional.
I now need to go back and listen to both of these albums back to back to see if I can figure it out.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
find all the little Easter eggs, everything
yeah.
in there.
Yeah, there's like Easter eggs in there, So sometimes people will message me and say, "I heard what you did. I saw that. Found it." So yeah, it's pretty fun when people find that stuff.
That's really exciting. And like all great things have a trilogy because obviously like Iron Man's a trilogy like right behind you. Sorry, I tried to point out the Iron Man in the chat
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. If this album had a sequel in the future, what direction would you want to explore with that next?
Man, I don't think there's another one in the same series, the way I view these as like two sequels, like belonging to the same thing. Um, everyone's saying like, "Oh, dude, the Return of a King," and it should be, about the return, and like do another one. But I don't know that there's really songs that people will connect to emotionally in the same way. I don't think they realize like that concept isn't something that is going to grab them the same way as the birth and the resurrection. Those are the two main things. So I don't see that happening like a Revelation album. Who knows? I could be eating my words in a few years. But um, I have some other ideas. There will be similar projects to some degree, but I don't think it's going to be a part of this series. I think those two are done and complete, and that tells the whole story. And now I can just kind of play in some other, you know, miscellaneous directions from there.
I'll be waiting for whatever direction you decide and listen to those as well, like I listened to the other
Absolutely.
albums because
Yeah.
everything produced is like magic.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Grayson.
Yeah, just as a young producer myself, knowing plenty of other young producers around my age, what would you say to somebody just starting out in this industry, especially, the Christian music space, because it's a lot different than secular music or anything like that? What would be your message to them?
To producers
Yeah.
specifically, man, I would just do as much as you can. Like, do as many productions and songs for people as you can. Um, take any job you can to like just get in the hours and practice and record. Not being too selective right at first. You can be selective later, but to get the ball rolling, you just gotta like make a name for yourself. You gotta start a brand, and like, um, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, you want your name to be synonymous with music to people. That's what I've always said. Like when people think I need to record a song, they want to think, "Oh, Grayson, I'm going to call him and see if he can do it." Right? Like you want to be the guy that's on the top of their list when they think I need someone to record. And if you can become that for enough people, you start building an artist roster and all this stuff. So that's what I think is probably the most important thing. And then again, like another thing is like people watch tutorials and they'll spend hours and hours and hours just watching, but that doesn't substitute the hours and hours and hours of actually doing it. So I would just like make a track every day, every night. And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, like you don't have to use it, you can throw it away later. But each time you do that, you are learning something, right? And you will develop and learn things along the way. So I think those things are all probably the first thing. And number one, maybe, is just invest in good sounds, because you get what you pay for when it comes
Yeah,
to sounds. You get a bunch of
absolutely.
free sounds, it's going to sound like
It's
you
gonna
use
sound
free
free.
sounds. So, yeah, that would be my biggest suggestion, is really dive into high quality sounds as well.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. And sounds play like a big part of me. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, the whole song is about the song as a whole." I divide everything apart. Like the sound, it has to be the sound. Then it has to be the lyrics. So it's just really cool to see like different perspectives on
Hmm.
songs.
Yes.
And from there, do you have like a story from like any of your creative processes you would like to share? This can be like any fun behind the scenes stories you like to share and everything.
Um,
I know it's like picking your favorite child or whatever, but I just
I
like to
mean,
hear
there's
like
so many
whatever.
stories. That's the fun thing. I have so many stories with everybody that comes in. We just have so much fun. It's just a blast. I mean, it could be. I tend to create a lot of food stories with people, which I didn't even realize until recently. That's a thing. I guess I'm known for it. I, I have people try foods that I find, or snacks that I find with them. Um, I have a lot of weird stuff in my studio, right? These statues and things, and you can't see them right now, but I have these like life-size Joker busts in the corners. One of them is Heath Ledger, and one of them is Joaquin Phoenix, and they look real. It's like the waist up of, like, they're kind of creepy, but I'm just not phased by that stuff, so I don't think about them. And when we were recording on the Easter album, uh, Jen Johnson was here. We're singing, and she, at one point, she's like closing her eyes, and she's singing this like worship song, right? That When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, and she's singing, and she's like kind of like moving. She's like, "Sorry, I'm I'm just distracted right now because that is totally not my vibe." She like put her hand up and like blocked out the Joker, which I realize I have staring right at. You guys can't see right here. There's a mic next to me. Everyone stands at this mic, and the Joker, Heath Ledger Joker with like creepy eyes, is looking right at the person singing. So I don't know. I thought that was
That's
pretty
funny.
funny. She handled it like a pro. She was laughing about it, but yeah, I do realize that this can be a jarring atmosphere for some people. I'm right at home here, obviously, with all my weird museum items. Uh, but some people walk in and they're like, "What the heck is going on in here?"
Out of all the countless interviews I have, I would say you have one of the cooler backgrounds, like, but studio wise and everything. So,
Absolutely.
Well, what the coolest thing is? I don't know if you can tell this. I just added a couple lights recently, and they inadvertently, unintentionally, like added this like anamorphic lens flare. So now when I do Zoom calls, it looks like I'm in a Michael Bay movie. And I didn't even plan that, but I think for what I do, make movie music, I think that's kind of a cool
Honestly,
little
perfect.
detail.
It's perfect.
Grayson, do you want to add anything else very quick?
Yeah, to piggyback off of what he was saying when he was um, like picking your favorite child, picking a favorite song. What would you say in just of all the years and those, at least those two albums specifically? What would be one of your tops? I won't make you pick like your number one favorite. I know that's hard.
Yeah, every song, genuinely, like when I make these albums, I I specifically have the goal of not wanting to skip a song when I listen to it back. Like, I want it to be a full album of songs that I love. And if I come up with an idea that I'm not super excited about, I don't keep it. I'm like, nope, I will skip that one. So I wait until I'm like, every song on here I wouldn't skip, and I do. Each one feels special to me. But they're all special for different reasons too. Obviously, just reimagining older things is really a fun process that I enjoy for my job. But like, each artist brings a specific unique thing to each one that I have specific memories with, right? And so it just it's a complete picture, and it wouldn't be complete without. So anyways, all that to say, if I had to like actually give one song, probably the most meaningful song is Noel from the Christmas album, and that seems to be probably one of the favorites. It feels like it became like the theme song of the album, and the theme of the overarching both albums together, with how we tied in at the end of Amazing Grace. We put a thing in there. with Stanaj, who's one of my best friends on the planet. Um, and just seeing how that song is connected to people, man, like when he sang it at Bridgestone this past December, when he sang it, half of the arena just stood up and put their hands up and they were singing and crying. And we have it all on video. And it's just like really powerful. And to
I have
think,
chills right
I,
now.
I, I do too. I wrote that song back in 2012 while I was brushing my teeth. It just it came to my mind and I was like singing and I like hurried and just like wrote down the lyrics, and I had no clue that I would record it 8 years later in 2020 with Stanaj, who I didn't even know at the time. No clue we'd perform it live. No clue it'd go to an arena. No clue it'd go around the world. And that song is the one song that has literally just been sang around the world in different languages. And I see videos of people from like 15 different languages singing that song. That's like a really powerful, humbling uh, experience to see how God is using a song that way
Absolutely.
to move people in worship to for Him coming and what it meant. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for all of those songs, but I think that's the song that kind of started it all.
Yeah.
That's the first song that I recorded with a singer for the Christmas album, and it kind of
Just
changed the
holds that
direction of
special
the
place.
yeah. It changed the direction of the whole album once I recorded that. I was like, this is gonna be something,
I
you
love
know.
that.
Nice. My personal favorite of the Christmas one is I like the Widow Drummer Boy with Steven Stanley. I just love Steven's voice and music. It's like fresh and authentic versus
That's the new one. That's one of the new ones, right?
exactly.
So that's yeah. We're kind of. I never thought I'd add to the Christmas songs, but I found a couple that I didn't do, including that one.
But like I just love Steven's voice. It's like so energetic and like some of the industry like you. It's all like radio play. Like I mean, like Steven's like a great guy too. But I just like his voice. It fits a different mold than what you're used to hearing on like the radio. If that makes sense.
100%. Oh, his voice was perfect for that. His voice was absolutely perfect for that song. I'm so excited that um, he did that.
And then
He's awesome.
my favorite one from the Easter one was He Arose for me personally. So
Yeah, I think He Arose is kind of like the Noel of the Easter album. It just feels like the overarching theme song.
Definitely.
Phil is such a blast to work with, and I mean, he did something on that song that no one else could have done, you know. And he wrote that bridge with me, which it was his idea. He was shooting me lyrics from a plane and wrote that bridge, and um, yeah, that is a special song, a special moment. I'm really thankful for too.
Awesome.
we just have a few extra minutes with you today. Is there anything you want to bring up that we didn't bring up? I know there's a lot we could talk about, but we don't want to take your whole time. You have like 800,000 things you could talk, like songs and everything. A lot of
Yeah, no, no, man. I don't know where it's all going. I do feel like God has given me like an assignment to do these albums, and I take that seriously. Like it seems like something I was asked to steward, and He could have asked anyone else to steward it, and so I hold that with great responsibility, and I'm so thankful. And um, yeah, getting to do it live, the Christmas show live, is definitely like a highlight of my career over anything else, just because it's like the room, like it feels like we're all there experiencing the same thing. It doesn't feel like we're performing to them. It's kind of like everyone kind of came to this thing on a very like ground level in the beginning, and it has grown to what it has together. Like we've all watched it grow, so it's not just like one guy's dream coming true. It feels like we're all a part of the dream coming true, you know. So yeah, no, I'm just thankful, and I'm excited about what's next. I don't fully know, but I got a few ideas, and I'm very excited, and I can't wait.
Well, I
I'm
can
excited.
speak for probably a lot of people when I say thank you for doing what you do, because I'm 100% sure of the fact that you're saying yes to what you feel like you were called to do has touched so many people's
Mm,
lives.
man, yeah, that's wild. I appreciate you saying that.
And I want to thank you, Tommee, for joining us today. I know this is not your typical business interview. I know like a lot of big video calls, podcast things now are like strictly business. They want to know. It was great to hear your heart, your passion, the story of these songs, and a couple of fun facts people might not know about these songs.
Yeah. No, dude, I appreciate you guys asking me to do this, and great questions too.
Thank you, thank you.
Really good.
And for
Yeah.
those who have not listened to the Resurrection of a King album, make sure to check that out. Check out the Birth of a King, or not podcast, album. I'm sorry, I get a lot of things mixed up. I'm sorry, I just think on the fly.
You're good.
But make sure to check out that. Check out Tommee's music. Even his covers are fantastic. There's like Numb by Linkin Park. That's another cover I could have talked about, but we don't have the time, and all those fun things as well. And again, Tommee, thank you again for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
And to everyone watching, we'll see you next time on the Christian Music Roast podcast. Take care, everyone.